Hi, everyone. Welcome to this free webinar on timing and time. So we're going to start right now. Timing is time is a system that is somewhat made up in that sense that we measuring something that is energetic that we actually created time and timing around it. But how many times you have been in a place where you got more things done than the time that you thought it will take you to make it happen? So the energetic focus is something to consider when it comes to time and timing. And we're going to go over that. And then I'm going to talk about the numeric relationship associated with it. So numeric blueprint give us some sort of measure to actually understand the energy that we carry and the environment around us carry and how we interact with it. So just a little bit context of time and timing is something the human species was before a clock, before even in the prehistoric time, there were like relationship to the natural cycle or the natural event that associated with timing. And a day was used as a cycle, a solar year, and the lunar cycles were used even 12,000 years ago. The first calendars are found about 3,000 years ago in the Bronze Age, and calendars start to be formed around mainly the lunar months in the solar year, or the lunar year, you can say, because different calendars had measured different cycles of the, usually it was not necessarily 12 months, it was 13 sometimes. And calendar formed as early as almost 3,000 years ago, more than 3,000 years ago. So the definition of time, as we know from the dictionary, is the measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists. I'm going to read it again. The measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists. So it's a point or a period in time. It's something that occurs, something begins or end, the time to end. It can be a period. So the definition of the word itself is not finite as measure, but it's like defining an event or defining an energy that has a certain capacity. Time cycles in general started in nature. Moon cycle, cyclical events, temperatures, sea levels. We as humans recognize the changes of nature, and it was more an energetic change, expansion and contraction, where in many traditions, winter solstice was the shortest day of the year, but also the pinnacle of winter the pinnacle area of conserving our energy, and summer solstice was the opposite, the point in time where there is an expansion and where the pinnacle of summer, where we have more energy to do and expand and give and create. In numerology, I want to explain that time cycle are indication of one's experience or flavor. I'm going to stop the sharing for a moment because I want to talk to you. So in numerology, you can say that the aspect of time has to do with it's not a reality indicator, it's a time cycle provide a framework for an experience. So it's provide an experience. When we say this is the right timing, it means that there's an alignment of energy that we can take charge of. And even in all sort of systems of divinations, those systems like astrology, like numerology, like tarot, they define an energetic container in a moment, in a certain period, that likely to provide a constraint or an opportunity or a sense of accomplishment. So, or a place where we can change direction. So time cycles in numerology or astrology are defining an energetic container or an alignment of some sort. So the truth about time cycles and numbers, we all have a universal cycle and experience within a year. We have a certain experience that we experience, all of us experience a year. Yet, each one of us have a cycle of seasons. And when we know the energetic experience we are in or heading towards, we can define or be aware of the changes around the corner that's coming up, that we can actually create a set of actions or a set of intentions to align ourselves with that timing. There is timing of energetic, there is an opportunity, there's timing that we need to take inventory and count what we have and what we need to do. Time cycles in numerology give us a good sense when to charge ahead, when to pause, and when to plan, when to attend to a physical, material reality, or when to attend to a certain psychological or mental condition or frame of work. Like, for instance, I would say that I'm going to share the screen. For instance, the year 2022 has a certain frequency and certain experience for all of us. And on the numeric scale, all these twos are associated with relationships. It's associated with a sense of trust. It's also on the negative scale, it's associated with duality or conflict, a lot of conflicts. It's associated with leaving the past behind. Listen to this, leaving the past behind this year. Very much so, things from the past will show up so we can let them go. So whether it's lineage or it is a historical event, it's a time to engage in that reality from the present moment, from what we want to create right here and right now. So this is the frequency we all in. So these aspects of all these twos has to do with relationship, has to do with relating, but also it has to do with the extra attention to be present, because two, when there is a duality, there's a sense of basically breaking off from reality and being disconnected. So now this is the universal year. Now each one of us has a personal year. Each one of us has our own clocking and season based on the time that we started clocking our soul in the physical plane when we were born. So the time we were born created a certain clocking where our personal cycles, seasons, certain years, also if we look at age, has a certain effect in the gamut of our personality or character and how we experience it. Personal year, when we calculate a personal year, we define a probable experience that one will have at this point in time. So personal year is not in a vacuum. It's something that occurs within our own chart. Like for instance, we have certain qualities in our numeric chart, our personal chart, that have a certain clocking. We are in a place where we need to actually define the qualities, the experience, and that's a timing that we need to actually define its personality and its quality in time. The experience, it's to experience a particular personality, we have to actually, in certain years, we'll have a certain experience. Like, for instance, if I'll use colors, for instance, and the color red is predominantly in your chart, a red year will accentuate that quality. You can understand that, right? So let's talk a little bit about what does it mean, a personal year, and what is the progression in numbers. So a character is changing like the season each year. I took a graphic here that defined there's 6 qualities of the characteristics, but I just kind of multiplied. There's 9 cycles in a numeric time cycle. Whether it's monthly, every 9 months, we shift to a new cycle. Every 9 years or 18 years, we shift to another cycle as well. So just think about the colors of our years change. So our experience, personal experience, change with the universal experience. So if we look at time progression in numbers, the number one, if you are in a 1 year or one period, a one, it's basically a period where we're initiating something, we're opening up, we're starting, we yeah, so this is a time to actually it's time progression and numbers is about the cycles of numbers. So if you are in a 1 year, it's initiating, a way of being, opening up, starting. A 2 is about polarizing or division. There's a different experience in a 2-year period. It's union versus duality. It's, as I said, all these twos this year indicating leaving the past behind, but it's actually not, it's a different year. The third dimension is about, or the third, the number 3 in a personal year is about creativity. It's about creating a lot of opportunity. It's about impulsiveness. I'm just kind of skimming the progression of number. Number 4, which is about structure and form, is about creating some sort of a plan for the years to come. And this year is a 4-year, actually. 2022 is a 4-year. It's about stabilizing, it's about creating a foundation, it's about creating a structure. I want to say something about a 5 years about motion, it's about movement, it's about being physical, it's about change, it's about restabilizing, it's about change, physical change. A 5-year, when we're entering a 5-year, it's about physical change, an actual physical consequences and change. It's adventure. When we go to the energy of 6, it's about restabilizing, it's about consciousness, about creating harmony. It's the group consciousness, family, home. And when we're moving to a 7 create another complexity, but it's an internal energy. When we enter 7-year, it's internal, it's about our own, it's about new knowledge, it's about maturity, it's about, it's about finding a new wisdom that was not available for us before. When we enter an 8-year, it's about power, energy, flowing beyond constraints. And a 9-year, it's about mastery, completion. And a 9-year, which I said there's 9 cycles, is the longest time cycle. A 9-year in the numeric chart is about, it's not about, it's a year and 3 quarters. So what does it mean? It's a year, and it's 20 months, basically. It's a 20-month cycle. When we enter a completion, which is, it's about coming to an end of a 9-year cycle, we're getting to a place where we actually graduating to a new level of evolution and understanding. So a 9 and a 10 year under 10 is the second part of completion. And then there is an 11 year under the auspice of an 11 mastery number. Sometimes we get to that, which is like ignite inspiration, connection, and true relationships. So we talked a little bit about the gamut or the progression of 1 through 11, right? Now, I want to talk about the knowledge of numerology. Numerology 1, it's a certification program. It begins on May 30th and will spread over 6 weeks. N1, which is the basics, is basically understand universal intelligence as it's organized by frequency and rhythm through numbers. So numerology 1, first part of the certificate program, which you can gain by that you will just by that you will know how to use numbers, how to use to conduct a chart, to conduct a consultation, how to use numerology to turn challenge to advantage or negativity in your chart to something that is create opportunity, because it's all in mathematical order where you can change and transform the numbers. And you will learn the basic of building a chart. It's a 6-week class. To enroll, you can review the information on site. And if it's paid, I would say by this week, by tomorrow, I said, you're going to get 30% off tuition, huge discount, $475 for the basics of numerology. Class starts with orientation on the 30th. Please, any question and request are welcome. I appreciate you coming here, appreciate your time, and please send me your questions. I love questions, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.